upon the silver screen. The happy face is then a sign upon a hill. The wine is flowing and the fields forever green.
Hola mis amores, this is Massey with masparklediys. Welcome to my channel. Today I am super duper excited to share 6 super easy DIYs made with Dollar Tree items. I hope you guys like it and enjoy the video, and let's go ahead and start with our first tutorial. For the first DIY, I'll be using this sign from Dollar Tree, and the first part is completely optional since this is going to be the back. First, I removed the paper, then I gave it just 1 coat of gray paint. For the front, I'm using this Waverly Mineral Color Shocked acrylic paint from Walmart, and I gave it just 1 coat of paint. I got this wooden bunny from Dollar Tree, and I think the front would look super cute just like this without any paint, but I decided to use the back and paint it white. Instead of giving the sign a second coat of paint, I brushed some of the same paint color in some areas to look more rustic. To give the sign more of a weather look, I went ahead and I brushed the corners with the same brush I used to paint the back since it still had some of that gray paint left over. I also dry brushed some areas, and I kept brushing both colors until I was happy with the results. I then glued the little bunny in the center using the hot glue. Now I'm going to make a wreath using this garland from Dollar Tree. I made sure it was the right size I wanted, then with the same twist tie it had, I secured the ends. Cut some leaves to glue them in other areas so they were not covering the bunny and to make the wreath look fuller, but before gluing the leaves, I went ahead and glued the wreath to the sign. To add a little bit of extra detail to the bunny, I drew kind of like stitches lines around it with a black permanent marker. And I glue a bow to the top. Since I took the original hanger from the sign to paint it, I'm gonna go ahead and do my own using some twine from Dollar Tree. For the second DIY, I'm going to be using 2 small organizer baskets from Dollar Tree. When you remove the paper, they have a twist tie in the center, and that's exactly what I'm going to be using to attach both of the baskets together. Now I'm going to cut 4 pieces of this moss square to cover the inside of the bottom basket. Once I was done cutting all my 4 pieces, I went ahead and glued them with my hot glue. And I added this Dollar Tree green paper grass inside the basket. And how adorable are these little carrots from Dollar Tree? I'm going to place all 4 of them inside the basket. I don't want my basket to be closed, so I'm not going to push them all the way in, but you can go ahead and push them in and you can close your basket. From this pom-pom kits from Dollar Tree, I'm going to be using 2 of the big pom-poms and 2 of the small ones. The first step is to glue the big ones inside the basket, then the little ones as the little bunny's tails. Instead of using the bunny's ears from the kits as ears, I'm cutting them smaller to use them as the bunny's feet, and I glue them under the tail area with a little bit of hot glue, and it looks super cute. I cut a small rectangle piece from a poster board And with a sponge, white paint, and gray paint, I'm going to make it look like galvanized metal. So I started by dabbing the white paint first, then the gray paint, and to give it a metallic look, I went ahead and also used this metallic silver paint, and I repeated the same step. And for the border, I went ahead and used black paint. With my stamps and ink pad, I stamped the word "un" starting from the outside in. I stamped the word "carrots." Usually I don't add a lot of ink so I don't get the squares from the letter stamps, but for this specific sign I want them to show. I think it gives it more of a rustic look. And for the final step, I glue the little sign in the front of the basket. This small galvanized bucket is from Dollar General and it was only $1. I glued a piece of flower foam in the center and side and added the leftover paper grass from the previous DIYs. I will be placing these woodcraft sticks about 1.5 inches inside the bucket all the way around, leaving some space between them. Once that was done, I cut little pieces of the sticks to complete the fence. Now it's time to glue all the sticks. And painted the fence with the same mineral color from before. This lavender pick is from Walmart. I cut the stems and inserted them inside the bucket. These Dollar Tree bunny picks are super cute, but I want them to look a little bit more rustic, so I started by taking off the bows, then painted their noses with a softer pink color, and dry brushed white paint in the ears and face. I replaced the other bows with this twine bows that I made using some Dollar Tree twine, then I inserted the little bunnies inside the bucket. And I glued a bow in the center. For the fourth DIY, I'll be using 2 of these eggs cartons from Dollar Tree. To paint the eggs, I inserted some skewers inside a piece of foam to make it easier to paint them and also for them to dry better. I'm going to be using multiple acrylic paints for these eggs, but I want to show you guys what happens if I go ahead and I paint it without first applying Mod Podge. As you can see, even if I keep painting, you can still see the egg under, so I'm gonna have to be doing multiple and multiple of coats. For this one, I went ahead, I painted first with the Mod Podge, then I let it dry, and now I painted just 1 coat, and the difference is huge. I'm gonna go ahead and give all my eggs 2 coats of Mod Podge. I want all the eggs to look different, so I didn't paint them in any specific order. For the first coat, as you can see, I painted them with 3 different colors. The name of this paint will be in the description down below. Then for the second coat, I mixed the same colors with a mustard color, and I mixed some of the beige color with the pink. Then I gave all the eggs a second coat and I painted with the mustard mix and some of them with the pink mix. With my paintbrush just a little bit wet, I went ahead and painted the sides and just a little bit inside white. With the hot glue, I glued both of them together. Once everything dried, I went ahead and placed the eggs. For the final step, I'm adding this lace ribbon from Dollar Tree, and since the ribbon is a little bit too thin, I went ahead and added another little piece and made a second bow. For the fifth DIY, I'm using this egg wood shade from Dollar Tree, and I'm painting it with this yellow color, and I'm using the same paintbrush that had white from the previous DIY, and I'm also going to blend it a little bit more with more white paint. To paint the shell, I went ahead and cut some pieces of painter's tape, and I placed them in a zigzag pattern so it can look like a broken open shell. And I painted the shell with the same mineral color that I've used on the previous DIYs. I repeated the same steps in the bottom, placing the tape in the same direction so it can match the top. I dry brushed some white paint on the shells. With a pencil, I made two little circles for the eyes and kind of like a round diamond for the beak. I painted the eyes black, and for the cheeks I used one of those round brushes and the same pink color we've been using for the previous DIYs. And for the beak, I went ahead and used the color orange. To give this piece more details, I'm using the permanent marker. I glue a bow to the top. And another one to the center of the first bow. For the final step, I glued the back of an old frame I already had. To make this super duper easy garland, I cut a piece of this Dollar Tree twine, and I'm using all 4 pom-poms from this kit. I put just a little bit of glue to the center of the pom-pom and glue the twine, then pinched the pom-pom and repeated the same steps for all the pom-poms. Big one first, then small one, then big one, then small one, and left space between them as you can see. Then in the center of each space, I glued these carrots from Dollar Tree. You can add more stuff to this garland if you like. I love the simplicity of this garland, so I'm just gonna leave it just like this. I made little bows to the top of the carrots using the lace ribbon from Dollar Tree.
Time changes everything, and everything will change in
Hey mis amores, thank you so much for watching today's video. If this is the first time you are stopping by, I hope you consider subscribing so you don't miss any of the videos I upload on this channel. And I send you all my friends the biggest hugs. I will see you all soon. Bye!